Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and we're starting to see a lot of the XRP Las Vegas, a lot of these guys that took a lot of great quality video. We're starting to see a lot of that come out. We're going to talk about XRP, but we're also going to show you some of the new things that have come out where some of it's behind the scenes, some of it's just the conference in general. But we're going to go over some of that. Go to the groups at daixrp.com. You can join through there for the Patreon or click the join button below any of my videos. Now, let me tell you one of the hard lessons I've learned in crypto. That is when it comes to exchanges, wallets, hard wallets, and all that stuff. The one thing that I've learned you have to do, just like the people that chase every new token that has a green candle, that's a no-no. But also, when it comes to keeping your crypto safe and who to use, which exchanges to use and all of that, you got to sit back and you got to watch sometimes for years before you go just jumping at the next new thing, next new wallet, next new whatever, because there's a lot of scammy stuff going on. This is a great example, and it's a mistake on Cointelegraph's part, apparently. Just in, President Trump has launched a waitlist for the official Trump wallet. And then Donald Trump Jr. comes out and says the Trump organization has zero involvement with this wallet product. Eric Trump and I know nothing about it. Stay tuned. World Liberty Financial, which we have been working tirelessly on, will be launching our official wallet soon. So that was... I don't know what that was, but this is how scary this industry can be. Even the mainstream news outlets can pick up on something, and the next thing you know, people start heading to it, and who knows what it is. I literally sat back, and I told somebody at the conference, I watched these guys at Caleb and Brown for about 3 years. This is the third year they've come to the XRP Las Vegas conference. I watched them for 3 years because I wanted to make sure that I didn't hear any bad things. These guys started in 2016, and I waited and listened to a lot of the wealthier friends I have in crypto, and they I didn't even ask. I kept hearing, yeah, I'm with Caleb and Brown. I'm with Caleb and Brown. I listened for years. And then I did my due diligence. I made them give me their Australian Securities Commission document. I made them give me an email from Fireblocks saying that they were in good standing with Fireblocks. You know, I went and I really looked at this and sat back for a long while. And then I put part of my holdings on, not all, I don't recommend anybody put all of their holdings on any one thing right now, but I put a part of my holdings on on Caleb and Brown, and because I want to be able to use their exit liquidity function when I'm ready to sell some. But anyway, go to xrpwealth589.com if you're interested in looking into these guys. And like I said, even if you don't like institutional custody, then you can keep your things on a hard wallet and just open an account and use these guys for liquidity purposes when you're ready. Just send it off your wallet. Okay, now you will have to do the KYC stuff and all that, but it's better to go ahead and get set up. We got a 225 XRP. The market's up a little bit. I want you all to hear this because I think this is one of the more important things I've seen out of XRP Las Vegas. This is Blockchain Backer. He's one of the chart guys that knows what he's talking about. But in this clip, he's one of these guys that's been around for a while, and he sees all the fighting on X and all that stuff. I don't participate in that. If I see people spewing negativity, I've learned to just block and move on. But he's addressing that here, and he's basically talking about how when you go to XRP Las Vegas, it's an eye-opener. It's real life. In fact, here's his quote. When you walk out there and you see the sheer number of chairs out there, it's something I've never seen at one of these. Twitter is nonsense. It's not what real life is like. These are clowns. These negative Nancy's, when you see this in real life, your whole perspective of it all changes. And he's right. And most of these people, these negative people on X, are either anonymous or they're too cowardly to go out and meet people anyway. And so this is something everybody needs to hear.
Then this is the third one that I've done. I was actually just talking to Brad right now. He's doing the first one.
Well, I think calling them too cowardly is the wrong way to say it. What it is they've backed themselves all into a corner by talking bad about people and saying things they would never say to their face. And that's what adults do. And so a lot of these people have permanently put themselves on the wrong side of history, and I'm sure they're regretting it. But the truth, you know what the truth of the matter is in real life? If any of these people ever had the guts to come out and actually face all the people that they had talked so bad about, they would find out that these are actually nice people. And they would find out that people are forgiving. It's unfortunate that they've boxed themselves in these corners.
People didn't catch the number on the second one, but it's over 1,200. When you walk out there and you see the sheer number of chairs out there, it's something I've never seen at one of these XRP conferences. So, part of me was like, the market's tame right now. You can see that in the Google Trend search data that people are kind of like, the excitement's just kind of chilled out a little bit. So I was real curious to see what would it be like when it came out here today. Would there be that excitement? And Twitter is nonsense, dude. It's not what real life is like. These are clowns on Twitter, man. These negative Nancy's. It's when you see this in real life, your whole perspective of it all changes, and it really lifts you up a little bit. And that's why I love coming to these things, because we sit behind these computer screens, we sit behind these phones all the time and looking at this.
Great message, and he's 1,000% right. Now here, we saw just tiny clips of Brad Garlinghouse, but here's one where he's addressing the regulatory environment now versus then.
First of all, I appreciate this. One of the things Chris and I talked a little about backstage, one thing that I will hopefully at some point in my life figure out, but Ripple has always tried to be one of the good guys in terms of our posture towards regulatory compliance. We invest a lot in this. We have over 60 licenses from around the world. We just recently received a license in Dubai, and then the Dubai land entity is now doing titles on the XRPL. Like, we have always leaned into this, which is great. What's frustrating and confounding is, like, why did the SEC pick on us? Like, we were the good guys in this space. There are a lot of bad guys, unfortunately, in FTX. There's some bad things happening. They picked on us. There's one of these, like, I don't really understand why they picked on us. But Ripple has and will always lean into a compliance first. It's not just because we have to, because it's the right thing to do, but it's also our customers, our financial institutions, our customers, our banks. They will not work with us unless we are, as white hat as you can get on this stuff. And now, part of your question also, and I alluded to this a little bit earlier, as much as other markets like Japan or Switzerland or the UAE, Dubai, and Singapore have been pro-crypto, the most important regulatory bodies in the world are the United States. And even though some of them may disagree, it still puts a little bit of it tempers the opportunity, it tempers the growth, it tempers the optimism. That has changed. Paul Atkins in the SEC has been exceptionally constructive, and he's only been there a few weeks. Hester Peirce and some of the stuff she has said publicly, it's just refreshing and a bit kind of affirming to be hearing it from stuff we've been saying for years, to hear it from within inside the building. I will admit in this private audience, not to be shared with anyone, I've been back to the SEC once in the last month after it all finished, and it was totally surreal. I mean, it was just bizarre. It was like you went from like this years ago being in the building with meetings and this hostility to a warm, friendly, I just a little bit more.
Good stuff. Okay, the era of the XRP treasury strategy begins. $300 million XRP treasury now filed in the SEC. Weebus International files to raise $300 million for its XRP strategic reserve and Ripple powered payments integration. We're here, folks. If you've enjoyed XRP dominance at 4%, you're going to love it at 40%. I like the sound of that. Now, we've been busy with the conference and all, but now here we come. The Genius Act is a historic piece of legislation that will bring payment system into the 21st century and ensures America remains the hotbed of innovation in the world. Let's get it done. And then this is our old friend, Senator Cynthia Loomis, talking about where they're at on the Genius Act.
We will start voting on the Genius Act, the stablecoin bill, this week. I don't think we're going to complete it this week. We'll probably have to go into next week because a number of amendments will be filed. But we have worked long and hard to bring Democrats to the place where they can vote for cloture. I think we're there.
So what are the remaining hurdles for Democrats? What have they told you that their concerns are? What's keeping them from getting on board completely?
Well, we have generally agreed to many of the amendments they wanted. There were concerns about illicit finance. We've addressed some of those. And we're just waiting to see what amendments are filed by both parties as we move the bill to full consideration on the floor of the Senate.
And then Eleanor Terrett had an update on this. I'm told more than 60 amendments have been floated so far, and the Senate Republicans and Democrats now negotiating to pare that list down to a more manageable number. If they reach a deal, the bill could see the Senate floor before the end of the week. If not, procedural hurdles will likely slow things down, push potential final passage to next week. And then here she is again saying they will pass it.
In your view, what sort of week or month could this bill actually become law?
Well, we're going to pass it next week.
Okay.
And so it will provide new markets for U.S. treasuries. It will help protect the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency. It will provide a way for something like a traveler's check to be used digitally. It's pegged to the dollar, so it's sort of it's a payment stablecoin, something that can be used for payments in a digital format. This is going to create more versatility for the U.S. economy and move us into the 21st century.
Then we've got this is her talking about a new monetary system. This is some more Bitcoin stuff.
Guns, bullets, drones, planes, etc. What do you say to critics like Jamie Dimon who say this is a waste of resources?
Yeah, I would say that even the United States military disagrees with him, that there are generals, especially in Southeast Asia, who believe it's important to have strategic Bitcoin stockpile because we're doing an economic war with China and we have to prepare for a guns and bullets war.
Well, that's scary.
But we need both. And so all we need to do is look to the leadership of the current U.S. military to find support for a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Senator Lemon.
Yeah, that's because it was a military project. Here's the new SEC chairman on the Genius Act.
Well, thank you. I salute you for advancing that bill and having it considered by the Senate. I think that one of the primary use cases for digital assets is stablecoin, and for payments and the rapidity of the transactions that are able to be done through that. And so I think that to have a bill such as yours that would provide for those both protections and to set forth that foundation, I think is really important.
Okay. And then finally, this was Donald Trump Jr. yesterday. This is a clip I don't think I showed where he's addressing the Genius Act.
But you've heard from people in the crypto industry, I imagine some of your friends who have said that some of these coins and what's happening may undermine a little bit of what's happening because people are questioning it, right?
I have not heard that from anyone, actually. What I hear from those people is like, thank you for doing this. You're giving us the legitimacy that we fought for so long. And this isn't just a conservative issue, Joe. I mean, these are highly libertarian people. This is actually one of those, 50 million holders of, some sort of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, stables, ETH, Sol, whatever it may be. There's 50 million in America, and they're not all right-wing. These are people who just believe in freedom. They've seen what's happening, and they're looking for a corollary and a response.
I got one more for you, which goes to, do you believe, if you believe in the U.S. dollar, which I think we all want to believe in, do we think that crypto, Bitcoin in particular, but crypto writ large, can ultimately undermine it?
Actually, I think the opposite. When you look at what's going on with so many of the stable coins, and as you create utility and those things happen, what we're doing with USD1, it's literally one-to-one backed with the US treasuries. If you look at some of these big, stable coins, they're literally some of the biggest buyers of U.S. treasuries in the world, replacing a lot of the countries that would have been traditionally doing that. So if we want to keep borrowing and spending the way we do for some of these products, I don't necessarily agree with all of that either. I think these stable coins are actually going to be the savior of dollar hegemony in the world, not a detractor from it. I think that goes without question. If you look at even companies like Tether, I think they're the fourth largest holder of U.S. treasuries in the world. What we're going to do with USD1, I mean, this is billions and billions of dollars of treasuries that other countries who have not necessarily been good actors or who have taken advantage of those things over the years have said they're going to back away from to try to create their own kind of currency to eliminate sort of, the petrodollar, whatever it may be. I think stablecoins could be this.
The petrodollar. Save the U.S. dollar, replace the petrodollar system. Where have you heard that? For years. Okay, we're going to go in DAIXRP.com. There's a very interesting statement on XRP by the Ripple CTO, David Schwartz. And we also have some more behind the scenes XRP Las Vegas and some other news type stuff. I'm the digital. You can click the join button below any of my YouTube videos if you'd rather join there instead of DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. Let's go check it out. And after I finish, I've got to go make breakfast for my son. I always forget how much more work it is on me when summer comes and these kids are home. I literally go to make myself some bacon, and before I know it, I've got a protein eating machine in my 19-year-old. And my youngest, he'll eat my bacon just on principle. He has to make sure he gets in my pocket no matter what it is. But I got to go make him some bacon and eggs after this. Here we go.